Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to today or this month's workshop all about how to use human design to transform your decision making. My name is Jamera Payne, and before I start my slides, I just wanted to pop on here and introduce myself a bit before I kind of disappear up into the corner. So, from a human design perspective, I am a 1-3 self-projected projector, and if you don't know what that means, by the end of this, you'll know a tiny bit more about what that means. If you are an astrology nerd, I am an Aquarius sun and moon and a Virgo rising. And I am a human design and authentic marketing operations guide. I love helping big creative dreamers, both non-entrepreneurial and entrepreneurial, really hone in on their dreams, get organized, get on the ground so they can actually start changing the world and live according to their ultimate mission. I am currently residing on the land of the Multnomah Clackamas and so many other tribes, present day known as Portland, Oregon. And I just wanted to give a moment and show my respect and acknowledge that I am currently on their land. So before I share my screen, alrighty. So here is my welcome slide. Everything that I just said, but I just wanted to share real quick my human design chart. This is my own personal chart. So if you're someone, especially if you have profile 1 somewhere in your chart, you might want to really dive in and interpret it and look at it. But I just thought I would share it before we start going into the actual slides. So before we talk about anything, if you are interested in finding your own body graph, you can go to mybodygraph.com to generate your human design body graph. You will need your birth time, date, and location. If you're unsure, there are tests you can take online to find your birth time, or you can guess either way. But when you get to the website, it's going to ask you to sign up for an account. But if you don't want to sign up for an account, that's completely fine. If you just go up to the top left corner, you are going to see something that says free body graph. I've circled it in green. It will not be in green on the website, but you can click on this and you can actually bypass signing up and you can just look at your body graph without needing an account. Before we get started into really like the meat and potatoes of the presentation, I like to make sure we are all on the same page. So we're going to define some terms. So the first term is human design type. Your human design type is your energetic role that you're designed to embody in this life. So for example, my type is a projector. The other types are generator, manifesting generator, manifestor, reflector. So there are 5 total: projector, manifesting generator, manifestor, reflector. And all projectors, all generators, all reflectors, all of the types, they're going to have very similar general characteristics. For instance, your strategy. All projectors are going to have the same strategy. All manifestors are going to have the same strategy. Your strategy is your human design's type way. It's your type's way to recognize an opportunity. It is your foundation for decision making. So, like I said, all projectors are going to have the same type. We're all going to need to wait for an invitation and recognition, which I will get to that in a minute. But so once we've waited for that recognition invitation, the way we answer that recognition is through our authority. And that is going to vary between projectors, vary between generators. So your authority is the confirmation to your strategy. It helps you determine how correct the decision you are making is for you. So, for instance, all projectors are going to have the same strategy: wait for an invitation and recognition. But you can be an emotional projector, you can be an ego projector, you can be self-projected. Those are all authorities. So even though you've waited for an invitation, if you're self-projected, you're going to answer it differently than if you're emotional. So, and those are your authorities. So that's kind of how it's kind of like the paint on the house. If the strategy is the framing and the foundation of the house, the authority is the siding and like what color you've decided to paint it or what flowers you're putting in your garden bed, stuff like that. It's a little bit more of the finer details. So now we're going to go into human design types. And the first type is the initiator. Well, there is no hierarchy of types. I just like to say it in this order because I like using a relay race as an example. So the initiator or the manifestor. So in traditional human design, it is called a manifestor, or your type is called a manifestor. In the quantum human design system, which was created by Karen Curry Parker, it's like an offshoot in a way of human design. It still has very, very, very similar to human design. Just some of the wording is changed. And so I like using both because people resonate with different words. So in this presentation, I will be referring to them interchangeably. So an initiator and a manifestor, same thing. You are designed to be directly connected to divine inspiration. You are here to bring that creative spark into the three-dimensional world, into the physical. You are the first runner in the relay race. That is the example I'm going to use. So if we think of all the human design types interacting at a relay race, the manifestor is the first runner in the race. They're the ones starting it. They're the ones waiting for the gun or the bang, and they're going. And they need to wait for inspiration, that bang, and then inform. So in the example of a race, an initiator, they can initiate all they want. They can just start running. They don't have to wait for the race. But if they do that, there's going to be a lot of false starts. People are going to get really mad at them, and they themselves are going to get really mad. They're going to get really mad that they can't just go and just do the thing. They have to wait for that creative spark. They have to wait for that bang in order to start going. The thing about informing for a manifestor, because you are designed to just go and initiate and create that spark in the physical, is that manifestors don't like necessarily telling people what they're going to do because they're afraid that it's going to lead to questions, or it's going to lead to people telling them that they can't do the thing that they want to go set out to go do. But the thing is, manifestors don't need permission. If you are waiting and asking for permission, that's probably going to lead to a lot of anger. So an example that I have is my partner is actually a manifestor, and he's a graffiti artist. So it's really interesting. He will just wake up. So he doesn't go out and paint every single day, because if he did, that would be, I'm sure he would burn himself out. And that creativity, you can't sustain creativity every single day. That's just not how creativity works. He will just wake up one day and he'll turn to me and he'll be like, Jamera, I'm going to go paint. And then he goes and paints. He's not asking me, hey, Jamera, can I go paint? He's just telling me, this is what I'm doing. I'm letting you know, goodbye. Like, I'm going to go do it. That brings a lot of peace, because then I know what he's doing, and he usually tells me where he goes. And so it's like, I know where he's at. I know what he's doing. I could get a hold of him if I need to. I'm not asking him questions. I'm not really like, what are you painting? Who are you with? What are you doing? And so that allows him to go do it freely, as opposed to if he just woke up one day and went to go do it and did not tell me he was painting, then I'm calling him every 3 seconds, like, where the hell are you? Like, is something wrong? Like, and I'm bothering him, and I'm not bothering him, but like, I'm interrupting his creative flow, and that leads to a lot of anger. So that's the manifestor. You need to really wait for that spark and tell people. And unless you are under the age of 18, you do not need permission legally from people to go do the thing you want to go do. You know what I mean? If you're younger and you have a parent, then definitely, yes, you can't initiate without some permission potentially. But as an adult, you can definitely learn to overcome those childhood wounds of not being able to do whatever you want to go do, and now do it as long as you inform people. So in the continuation of this relay race, we have the middle runner, or the time bender in quantum human design, or manifesting generator in traditional human design. So the manifesting generator has an interesting name because it is both the name of the manifestor and the name of the next type we're going to talk about, which is generator. So there can be kind of some confusion when you're first getting into human design. So say you see manifesting generator, but you're like, wait, am I a manifestor? I'm here to spark. I'm here to whatever. You will know you are a manifesting generator because this square is going to be colored in, and this square is going to be colored in. And if you're not looking at the presentation, your third square from the top, it's in your throat center, that will be colored in. And then your second square from the bottom will be colored in red. That is how you know you are a manifesting generator and not just a manifestor. You're designed to physically manifest creativity. I love manifesting generators because you all are so creative, you have like so many ideas, you're doing so many things at once. Multitasking is a manifesting generator's best friend. You are here to speed up the process. So because you're here to speed up the process, you can do things so, you know, quickly and efficiently. Like, of course you have multiple, you know, you're juggling multiple things because you can do them also, you know, well and efficient, depending on, you know, how many things you have in the air and how many things you're saying yes to. Because again, you have that strategy of waiting to respond and informing. So the manifestor, they just got to wait for creativity and then inform. For a manifesting generator, you need to wait for life to give you an opportunity and then tell people that you are jumping on that opportunity. So for instance, if we think about the gift here of the runners, I like this gift because I think it kind of reflects both ends of a manifesting generator. So if we're viewing the manifesting generator as this person, the person handing the baton, I like to think of this as the informing part of a manifesting generator strategy. You need to tell the person you're handing the baton to, hey, I'm handing this to you. You extend your arm out. Some might yell like, hey, I'm coming up. I'm, you know, get ready. You have to tell people you're handing them the baton. Because if you just run up on them and they don't know that you're about to hand them the baton, you're probably going to end up with a lot of frustration because they're not going to grab it. You guys are going to, you know, you'll stumble into each other. The race, you know, your time that you've worked so hard to speed up so you can, you know, be faster. All of that's going to fumble. All of that's going to be kind of to waste because you didn't inform correctly. You didn't tell them like, hey, I'm coming up. I'm ready to hand this off to you. And then I also like this in the terms of responding, because if you think of the person handing it off as the manifestor, because one thing I forgot to mention with the manifestor, and I will go back for 1 second, because you don't have this battery pack here that the manifesting generator has, you are not here to finish stuff. The person starting the race, they're not the last person. They don't zoom to the end to then finish it and wait for that middle baton. They're just here to start it. So if you don't finish stuff, that is completely okay. That's not necessarily how you're designed. For instance, my partner, he always tells me, he's like, if I sit down to do a drawing, if I don't finish it in that sitting, I'll just never finish it. It's kind of like that. It's like, it's all, you know, it's the big creation. And when it's done, and you just hand it off to somebody else, or, you know, it just dies in the sketchbook. You know what I mean? But that manifesting generator has that battery pack, is able to work. But again, because they're the middle runner, they hand the baton off. They also are not necessarily designed to finish the projects that they started, which can be kind of liberating for a manifesting generator, because I would say a lot of the manifesting generators that I've experienced with have some type of judgment, some type of shame around the fact that they generally don't finish what they start. They generally have a lot of things going on. They feel like they can be bouncing from thing to thing to thing, but it's because life knows you speed things up, you're efficient, you need to multitask. So it's going to give you a lot of opportunities to respond to. And then once you find that opportunity to respond to, then to tell people like, okay, I'm going after this, just a heads up, I'm adding another thing to the things I'm juggling. And that's perfectly fine, because that's who I am. Oh shoot, what was the one thing I wanted to, so an example for a manifesting generator is, say that you are with a group of people and you all went to go out to eat. So now, you know, you're kind of done with your food and you can feel the vibe that people still want to hang out. They still want to hang out. So you have the opportunity, and let's say there's a movie that you want to go, or an ice cream shop or something, whatever. So you're with this group of people, you feel the vibe that people want to keep hanging out. You're interested in going to see a movie. You know that some people might be interested in seeing a movie. So you internally want to see the movie. Life has given you an opportunity to respond. You're in this group. People kind of want to still hang out. So now you're going to inform, hey, I want to go to a movie. Does anyone want to go with? That gives other people an opportunity to respond, because other manifesting generators, and then spoiler alert, generators also have to respond. That gives them an opportunity. Say they internally want to be going to the movies. They're like, yeah, I would love to go to the movies. That's kind of a wait. That's a response and an inform. You feel the vibe. People want to go to the movies. You yourself want to go after dinner. You just say, hey, who wants to go to the movies? People are going to go. And maybe no one goes. Maybe no one wants to go to the movie, but you still, you had that desire and you told people like, okay, well, no one wants to go, but you guys know where I'm going to be at. I'm going to go to the movies. As opposed to if you wanted to go to the movie and you feel that internal, you guys are down the street, there's that opportunity to respond and go, you just got up and left and didn't tell anyone you were going. That's probably going to create a lot of frustration and stuckness because people are going to be texting you like, where the hell are you? Why did you go without us? Asking a bunch of questions when you're like, I just want to enjoy the movie. So we talked a little bit about the generator, which is the final runner. It is the person who the manifesting generator is handing that baton to. So the manifestor, spark, initial runner. Manifesting generator, they found the shortcuts, they zoomed through the people, and now they're handing the baton off to the generator. The generator is really designed to create physical things out of the inspiration that the manifesting generator and manifestor kind of started to form into real life. You are here to build. And if you are unsure if you're a manifesting generator or a generator, again, look at your graph. You are going to have this square colored in, the second from the bottom square colored in, but the third from the top square is going to be white. So this right here is the manifestation center. It's your throat center. And that is why the manifesting generator is a manifestor, because again, they have this brown square colored in. So that's where the manifestor comes from. And then the generator comes from this square down here, which is also what the generator here has, but they have no throat. So in case you're curious, in case you're a little bit confused, this up here is white, this down here is colored in, generator. They both are colored in, manifesting generator. So because you're here to physically create the things you are devoted, or physically create from inspiration, you need to be devoted to the things you work on. Generators have this incredible gift and ability to build and work and work and work on the thing and refine it until it is polished and perfect. But if the thing that the person is working on is not an accurate physical representation of who they are as a person, it's going to lead to frustration. It's going to potentially lead to stuckness, especially because generators can potentially have a harder time giving up the thing they've worked on for so long, even if it is incorrect for them, that it can lead to a lot of stuckness in life, a lot of frustration, because life is constantly giving you things to respond to, which is what your strategy is. You don't have a two-parter like the manifesting generator. You just have one. So you just respond. Life gives you the baton and it's like, okay, girl, now, oh, does she have a baton in her hand? Oh my gosh, she might. Oh my gosh, she does. When I picked this gift, I didn't see that. I just thought she was a sprinter. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I love this. So yeah, life hands you that baton and you are just hauling ass to the end because you can really build. But the thing is, if you did not wait to respond to life and you just decided, you know what, I'm going to finish this race, the person's going too slow, it's going to lead again to a lot of frustration because you did not wait for that response. You did not wait for that baton. And same with the devotion, her hair slicked back, her shoes, how she's running, her training. I'm sure she's got some, her hair slicked back. I mean, like a ritual, like, how she gets ready, how she presents herself. Everything in the way that she is running is a physical representation of who she is as a person. And if this wasn't the vibe that she wanted and she was forced into it, or if no one asked her to be in this race and all of a sudden she just suited up and went, it's going to lead to that frustration and stuckness, as opposed to fulfillment and satisfaction, which is what the manifesting generator and the generator both feel when they are aligned, when they waited for that response. And then in the manifesting generator, when they informed, they're going to feel that satisfaction and that fulfillment. Two more types. The next type is the orchestrator, which I will talk about this GIF in 1 second because I'm actually not a huge fan of this GIF right here. But the orchestrator in the quantum human design system, or the projector in the traditional human design system. The projector is here to guide human potential to transformation. We deeply, deeply, deeply see other people's potential. And the thing with the projector is we do really well with small groups and one-on-one because we so deeply see that potential in people. Projectors will never have the square right here colored in, and they often have a pretty open chart. And anytime you see a white spot in a chart, it's a mirror. So they can see potential in people because they have the mirror. And I mean, all types have that mirror ability, but it's really a projector's goal to guide people. The thing about the fact that we see so deeply in a person's potential and we're so good at guiding is that we need to really wait to be recognized and invited into that guidance. So, I mean, I have 1,000,010 stories, 1,000,010 stories about not waiting for recognition and invitation. But for instance, I will use the movie theater example that we talked about before just to keep it consistent. So let's say the movie theater. So let's say you are a projector and you are a track and field nerd. You love track and field, like everything about it. And there is a movie that just came out about track and field. You went to dinner with everyone. You also are sitting after dinner. You feel the vibe. Like, ooh, maybe people want to keep hanging out. Like, let's keep going. Let's keep this night going. And you see the movie theater down the street. You know you want to go to the movie because you're a huge track nerd. Human design nerd. That's me. You're a huge track nerd. So you say to the group, hey, everyone, I know everyone wants to keep hanging out. Let's go to the movie. There's a track and field movie. Like, and I love track. Like, let's go. People probably are not going to listen to you. 10% of the time, people will probably listen to you and begrudgingly go. But most of the time, people probably are not going to be listening to you. They're not going to want to go to the movie with you. You're probably going to feel a lot of bitterness because no one's listening to you. You have this great idea. Why is no one listening? And you're also going to feel really energetically depleted because you might then yell louder. Hey, let's go to the movies. You might jump on the table. You might do some cartwheels and flips to get people's attention. You're just going to energetically deplete yourself because you're trying to get people's attention. As opposed to you're sitting at the dinner and your friend next to you turns to you and they're like, hey, I saw that there's a new track and field movie. I know you love track and field. Like, I was thinking about going to the movie. Do you want to go with me? You're probably going to feel so stoked that that person knew you loved track and field. They thought about you when they saw this movie. They invited you to go to the movie. You're probably going to feel a lot of success and happiness. The fact that this individual person out of everyone in the group knew you loved track and you might want to see this movie and invited you to go see that movie. That is an invitation for you to say, yes, let's go. Of course, you're going to check in with your authority, which we will go in to in a minute. But yeah, that's an opportunity for you to be like, yes, let's go. And same with advice. I would say projectors, all the projectors I know, myself included, advice is the thing. We love giving advice because we know what people's potential is and what they need to do to reach that potential. But if no one is asking you for your advice, and I do this with myself all the time. I find myself giving people advice, and in the middle of myself giving advice, I have to ask myself, did they ask me for this advice? Is this conversation an invitation for me to give advice, or do they just want someone to listen to them, or do they just want to complain, or like whatever, or are they not asking for solutions? So make sure you have the correct recognition and invitation. So the reason I chose this gift is to keep in theme with the track and field. You're the timekeeper. You are the person at the end of the race, hopefully a little bit more excited and welcoming than, I think her name is Sue Sylvester, if I remember correctly. You are the timekeeper. You're the event organizer. You're the person with the clipboard. Everyone has finished the race and you're like, okay, team one, you had this time and you had that time. And I noticed when you guys were handing off the baton, there was a little bit of slip. Maybe next time you could do this to help, solve it. Or, hey, team two, I noticed that your last runner looks like they would rather be helping out the concession stand. Let's have the runner go to the concession stand because they're really good at math. And we're going to pull somebody else to be the last runner of your team because that person actually has a great time that I think will benefit your team. You are the person you are the person organizing. You are the orchestrator. You're telling people where to go, what to do, what is going to best serve their potential. And if anyone, I don't even know, is timekeeper the right in track and field? Is that the right position name? If it's not, let me know, because I could not find another gift to save the life of me of someone like stopping a stopwatch. And I didn't want to get too deep in the sauce. We're trying to find the perfect gift. But yeah, so you're the event organizer. And then our final human design type is the Calibrator. Oh, interesting. Hold on one second. The image isn't showing. One second. Let me see. Why not? That was interesting. All right, we're back. So the Calibrator, they are completely open. You will notice they have nothing colored in on their chart. And like I said earlier, the Calibrator is also called the Reflector in traditional human design. So Calibrator or Reflector. The Calibrator has no mirror, or they have no defined centers. And like I said, the white equals a mirror. So they're 100% a mirror, and they are the mirror for the human condition. So like the Projector, who can deeply see potential, the Reflector Calibrator can deeply, deeply, deeply see potential, because they are doing nothing but mirroring the people around them, because they deeply, deeply recognize and mirror their environment. They're like the audience of the race. If the race is good, if it's close, if it's exciting, everyone's having fun, they're going to be cheering. They're going to be in it with the people. They're a reflection of the race, as opposed to if people are running slow, if it's clear that people don't want to even be there, if it's clear that the race is rigged, they're probably not going to be that excited. They're probably going to be like, I don't know, I'm questioning stuff. So they are definitely the mirrors, and because they are the mirrors for everyone else, they are not always so self-aware of what's going on, because the audience is paying attention to the event. They're paying attention to the runners, to everyone else. Are they necessarily paying attention to themselves that much in that moment? No, they're really focused on the outside. So because of that, your strategy is to wait a lunar cycle. Wait, new moon to full moon, 29 days, 28 days, 30 days, whatever, like a large chunk of time to reflect, because you feel disappointment and surprise. So for instance, if you are in an environment that is deeply disappointing, people are not reaching their potential, the room is just not what it needs to be, you're going to feel this deep sense of disappointment in humanity and everyone. And the opposite with surprise, when you are around people who reflect what you want to be reflecting, who are in alignment, who are reaching their potential, you're going to feel this deep, deep, deep sense of surprise. So before we go on to authority, I'm going to do a quick reminder just for everyone's sake. The initiator, the manifestor, your strategy is to wait for your spark of inspiration, then inform people. Does not mean permission, just means, hey, I'm going to go do this. I want to give you a heads up because I love you. The manifesting generator, the time bender, your strategy is wait to respond to life and then inform. You need to wait for the baton, but you also need to tell people you're passing the baton. You know what I mean? Wait for life to respond, inform. Generator, alchemist, you are here to just wait for life. You don't need to tell people once you receive once you receive the thing to respond to, you don't need to tell people you're going to go do it. You need to wait for life to respond to. Projectors, orchestrators, your strategy, you need to wait for the recognition and invitation. You need to be like, hey, you projector, you are the one person, you're the perfect person. I've been thinking about you. This is the exact thing that I think for you. I would love your opinion. Boom, recognition, invitation. Calibrator, reflector, very beneficial for you to wait a lunar cycle, wait 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, whatever. Just a large chunk of time to really reflect and process and distill and think about it. Rush decisions are not for you, especially Calibrator, but really, really think about it. So those are your strategies. That's your foundation. We are now going to go into your specific authorities, which is like that paint color that you're deciding to paint your foundation. So there are two types of authorities. There are inner authorities, outer authorities. We will focus on inner authorities for this section and then go to outer. Inner authorities are your connection to the connection to your physical body is what tells you what is correct. Your physical body is going to tell you, not your brain and not other people, your body, not your brain, anything below the neck and not other people. So the first type of inner authority is an emotional authority. You are someone who is going to have an emotional wave. It can be a wave, it can be an escalator, it can be stairs, it can be subtle, it can hit you in the face, but it's going to be a wave of some kind, and it's going to bring you to clarity, but it comes over time. It is not generally an overnight thing. It can be. There's no no definites. But generally, it is a good idea if you have an emotional authority, and it can also be called emotional solar plexus. If you have emotional, you need to sleep on it, at least for one night. At least sleep on it for one night. Do not make spontaneous decisions, especially when you are highly emotional. So you are designed to be very aware of your own emotions. You need to know what it is to be high, high, low, low. So then when you're in the middle, you know that is actually clarity. That is actually the middle. Very important for emotional authorities to keep a record of your emotions. Keep a record of your emotional wave, because if you know what your emotional wave feels like, about how long it lasts, what are your go-to habits, you will be able to learn how to surf that wave. But if you have no idea where your emotions are coming from, what they feel like for you, how long do they last for you, you're gonna get smacked by that wave every single time. It's gonna come out of nowhere. It's not gonna come out of nowhere. It can be a predictable pattern. But if you don't recognize the pattern, you're going to get smashed against the rocks every single time, and it's going to feel like a blow, and it's going to feel like you can never make decisions. You're never going to get clear. Everything's an emotional mess. But if you keep track and process those emotions, you're going to learn how to serve. But again, ride that wave, feel those high highs, feel those low lows, and when you reach the middle, and the thing is, you don't know when that middle's coming, but I would bet that most of you have had the experience of one day you just wake up and you're like, oh, I know the answer. This is exactly what I need to do. That is the point of clarity for you. The next type is sacral. So a sacral authority, you are someone, everyone tells us to listen to our gut. I feel like in popular culture, I know I've definitely said it. Oh, listen to your gut, listen to your gut. Well, if you don't have a sacral authority, yeah, your gut can tell you stuff, but that is not the thing you need to be listening to. For example, emotional people, you can have your sacral defined, but that doesn't mean you need to listen to your gut. You need to listen to your emotions. As opposed to sacral, a sacral authority, you need to listen to your gut response. Your uh-huh, your uh-uh, your those noises, those are your answer. Those are your truth. That can be hard, and you don't actually have to say them out loud. You can say them in your head. You can be like, in your head, because, if you live in the Western society, especially as a child, we're, told, sit still, be quiet, don't grunt, is rude, whatever. And so that suppresses your guttural sound, which are the thing that you need to use to process what's going on for you and your decisions. So if you are having a hard time connecting to that gut noise, one thing I like to tell sacral authority is go to the fridge when you're hungry. Just open up containers of food, sniff them. What noises come out of you? What noises do you feel like making? Or same with when you pick out clothes in the morning. When you look at clothes, like, do you have that like when you put on a shirt, you're like, I don't really like that. That's your answer right there. No, take that shirt off and put on a new one. So, if you're having trouble connecting with those are small things that you can use to reconnect with that guttural sound. But you can also use yes or no questions. Ask yourself, do I like the smell of this food? Like, yes or no are going to really help narrow you down. You can also ask other people to ask you yes or no questions, but remember, you don't need their opinion. You don't need their opinion. You just need them to ask you the question, and then for them to note if you make any noises, or if you're unsure, if you're really unaware, have them just pay attention to your noises and ask the questions. You don't need their opinion. The next inner authority I'm going to talk about is some people call it splenic, some people call it splenic. I'll probably say splenic, I don't know, but is splenic authority. So this is a full body in the moment. You just know your splenic center is constantly pulsing. Am I safe right now? Am I safe right now? Am I safe right now? So that's why I like to think about it as the deer, or a squirrel, because they're very much like, am I safe? I think I heard something. Oh no. Okay. I'm okay. Wait, did I hear something? It's very in the moment. From moment to moment, it changes. Did they hear something? Yes, they did. Okay, run. Did I hear something? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm okay. Okay, wait, now I heard something. Now I gotta run. It's going to change in the moment. So your truth is going to change from moment to moment. And that is completely fine. It is up to you to answer it, though, in that moment. Do not wait. If you feel, oh, I'm in danger, then girl, you better get out of there because you're in danger. As opposed to, I might be in danger. I don't know. I'm going to stick around. And then, well, that signal of, hey, you're in danger has now floated away because your spleen is now on to the next moment. So I like to think of it as a deer or as a squirrel, just that like moment to moment, like when a deer hears that gunshot, they perk their head up, they hear it, and they run. There is no questioning. They're like, oh, I just got to get out of here. But the trick with the spleen is that because it does talk to you in fear, that's just the language it uses. It's, you know, very, am I safe? Am I safe? It's very primal. It's very intrinsic in instinct. Because it talks to you in fear, you need to be connected to how do you create safety? Like, for instance, like our spleen doesn't know the difference between like answering an email from your boss or getting chased by a tiger. So if you are like, oh my gosh, like I got this email, it must be really bad. Really ask yourself, is that true? Am I in danger right now? Or is this just an email? Like, really ask yourself to determine, is that splenic response I'm feeling actually fear and trying to tell me something, or is it just my spleen talking to me? So in the moment, knowing, but also know it is open to change. An ego authority. And an ego authority is only going to be for manifestors and projectors. So if you have an ego authority, but it says you are a generator, I would rerun your chart or maybe use a different website because that is incorrect. It's only for manifestors and projectors. And only about a third of people have their ego center defined. So their ego center, it's too many slides back, but it's the little triangle. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like down and to the right. It's that little tiny triangle. It's often colored in red. It's kind of your ego part of your heart. And it's really, really important for you to put your self-interest first. And I know that goes against what a lot of Western society teaches us of not to be, you know, don't be too into yourself, don't be too selfish, don't be too egotistical. But for you, that's actually exactly what you need to do. You need to put your own self-interest first. Speak from your heart. Your heart is going to tell you, what is it? What's in this for me? How do I benefit? What do I want? Those are questions that you need to ask yourself. And also work on, if you do have any judgments or shame around putting yourself first, definitely something to work on, because that's actually correct for you to put your own egotistical desires first. Because the thing about having your ego center defined is you are someone who I like to always say, like, you're someone, like, if you say you'll be there, you'll be there. You have, you know, if you say you'll do it, you'll do it. You have this like commitment that you use with your heart and with your words. But the thing is, if you do not have the energy to if you're not asking yourself what's in it for me, and you just give, commit, because you're a manifestor projector, you don't have the battery pack that a generator or manifesting generator has. You don't have that battery pack. So you're going to wear yourself out very quickly. You're going to burn out very quickly. So vacations, rest, alone time, very important for ego manifested people, or ego authority people, to put yourself first. Put yourself first. You have so many resources. You have, when you got time, you really got time. When you love someone, you really have that love. But you can only give it from a place of rest. So ask yourself, what's in it for me? What do I benefit? How can I come out on top? And of course, in a loving, heart-centered way. And of course, only you know what that means for you. But again, it's totally fine to put yourself first when you have an ego authority. Self-projected. So this is my authority. I could spend 27 years talking about this, but I'm not going to. So self-projection is only for projectors. And it is, I like to say it with your chest. You have your throat and your G center connected. So you also, like the ego manifestors have their ego and their throat connected. You have your G center and your throat. So you are also someone who needs to speak from the heart, but you're going to definitely maybe feel it with your chest, But for you, it is a little bit like, what's in it for me, but a little bit more like, does this make me happy? Do I love this? Is this going to allow me to express myself? Self-expression is very critical for self-projected projectors. It's all about being the embodiment of who you love. Well, not who you love, because I mean like what you love, as in who you love yourself. Like the love of who you are comes out of what you say, comes out of your voice. So ego manifestors, they don't necessarily have to, they speak from the heart, but they don't necessarily need other people to give them a signal, because it's all about their own self-interest. But a self-projector, you need that signal from other people. So for example, if you got it recognition and invitation, someone was like, hey, Jamera, I know you love track and field, which I don't, but I know you love track and field. Let's go to this movie. As a self-projected projector, I mean, I can instantly say yes, but I should say yes, or that's interesting. I would probably say, oh, that's interesting. And what is the other person's face when I say that? Because they are going to mirror how I'm saying it. Do they look confused? Do they look excited? Do they look, angry? And of course, that's not necessarily, I mean, they have their own stuff going on, but then how do they look and how are you saying it? Do you sound confused? Or, do you feel confused when you're saying it? That's also making them look confused. Are you saying it with a lot of spite and bitterness and anger? Do they look like they're full of spite, bitterness, and anger? Like, it's a reflection of what you say. The thing is, you do not need that person's opinion. If you are trying to decide, let's say you got recognized and invited into a job, into a relationship, to move, you need to just talk with a friend and have that friend tell you, oh, you sound really excited, or oh, you sound not that into it, or oh, you look really happy, or oh, you look pissed. That is what you need from people, not necessarily like, well, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. So those are everything for the inner authority. Again, emotional, sleep on it, wait for your clarity, pay attention to your feelings. Sacral, so wait for the response, or if that's one of your things, wait for the response. And then if you're emotional, manifesting generator, you're like, okay, I waited for the response, my emotions tell me yes, now I'm going to tell people to say yes. Sacral, you got to listen to your gut, yes, no questions. So say you get something to respond to, or say you get something to respond to, because you would be a manifesting generator. Splenic, in the moment, right now. You can be a projector, you can be a manifesting generator, whatever. Splenic, right now. Ego, what's in it for me? Self-projection, do I love this? What do other people look like when I say what I want to say, when I'm trying to make my decision? You need other people to bounce it off of. But with self-projection, you're gonna feel it in your chest, because the next one, Soundboard, is very close to self-projection. It is it's projectors only, but this is a no authority. So this is like this is also called outer authority. So your connection to your physical environment is what is going to tell you what's correct. So for inner authority, it's what your body is telling you. But for outer authority or no authority, it's what's your environment telling you. So a soundboard, very close to self-projection, you also need to talk to other people and get a read about what you're saying. But with a soundboard, you don't necessarily even need them to tell you, you sound confused, you sound sad, you sound happy, you look whatever. You don't necessarily even need that. You just literally need them to be there, so then you can say it and then see it in your mind's eye. Because you likely have no colored in spots below you. Well, you wouldn't below your G. So you would have like nothing. So you're not going to be the most self-aware, but you have a really strong connection between your brain and your throat. And your brain is not what tells you what is the correct answer. You just need to be able to see the correct answer in your mind's eye. You don't need to rely on it. Like, you don't need to rely on what the answers are giving. You don't need to rely on the answers your brain is giving you. You need to just be able to see it and to say it and to be in the correct environment. Because the thing about sharing your ideas is it's a projected channel. So projector, your strategy, wait for recognition and invitation. So you might find a lot of times when you share your ideas and people don't want to hear your ideas, you often are bitter and depleted because they're not listening. Like, you don't even necessarily care if they buy into your ideas. You just want them to listen to your ideas. So that is why you need to be around the correct people and the correct environment. So people are open and willing to listen to your brilliant ideas that you have like in your head, but don't rely on your brain to tell you what the right answer is. Rely on that vision. And then lunar authorities, we talked about when we talked about reflectors or calibrators. This is only for reflectors / calibrators. You, again, need to wait a 29-day cycle, a lunar cycle. Really, your cycle can be whatever you want it to be, as long as it's a chunk of time to reflect. You will arrive, your truth arrives to you after you've reflected on your situation. And you also need to reflect alone or in a space that you find correct for you, that you find supportive in a way that allows you to go through everything that you've been through in your environment, to really soak through, to sift through, to decide. You need to be alone or in an environment that is really, really supportive to you, because again, you have all of those white spaces. You are a mirror, so you're very much not internally self-aware. Not saying you can't have a gut feeling here or there, or you need to maybe soundboard off of someone, but at the end of the day, to make the decision, it's all about that reflection period. So I hope that helped. I hope you were able to learn a little bit about your specific flavors of decision making. Again, your strategy, your foundation for what your decision making is, and then your authority, your specific flavor for confirming if that decision is correct for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, to email me. My email is thevelvetsuntarot@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn, Jumeirah Payne. You can reach out to me. You can comment on any video on my YouTube. It's also Jumeirah Payne. And then if you are a big dreamer, a creative, an entrepreneur, someone who has this huge mission for changing the world, but you just feel like you can't get grounded, you can't get organized, and you would love to incorporate human design, astrology, tarot into your practice, into your work, into your art, I love supporting people. I love supporting people as they kick off their human design experiment. I work with a lot of people who are brand new to human design. So any questions you have, any insights you have, I would love to hear them from you. So again, like I said, if you have any insights, any questions, feel free to email me, The Velvet Sun Tarot. Leave a comment below, and I will see you in my next workshop or video. Bye.